2:09 and 52 seconds p.m., Officer Coonrod asks Chris if he has checked upstairs, in case Shanann was passed out somewhere.
You checked upstairs? She's not there? I just want to make sure she's not passed out somewhere. Is she diabetic?
2:10 p.m., Christina Meacham texts Chris saying, "What is going on? Where are you? We are so worried, what the fuck?" 2:10 and 1 second p.m., Chris proceeds to go down to the basement, not upstairs. He talks to the dog as though Dieter is in the basement, but when he comes back upstairs he tells Officer Coonrod he's going to get the dog out and lets him out from his crate in the mudroom. You hear him open the crate and let him out. He then takes him out to the back garden.
You mind if I look around?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Oh, you're fine.
Outside.
Oh, you're fine.
2:11 p.m., Chris sent a message to Shanann's phone saying, "Where are you?" 2:12 and 20 seconds p.m., Shanann's phone is found by Nicholas Atkinson.
I'm checking the house for consent.
Down the phone.
Oh,
2:12 and 48 seconds p.m., Chris states to Officer Coonrod that all the girls' blankets are gone, the blankets they sleep with.
She can play. All the girls' blankies are gone. Their blankies they sleep with, they don't leave anywhere without them.
good.
2:13 and 20 seconds p.m., Chris tells Nicole Atkinson her phone's here.
Her phone.
Her phone's here? Her phone's here.
2:14 and 3 seconds p.m., Chris couldn't switch on Shanann's phone as the phone passcode was changed. Nicole said she didn't know the code but Cassie did. It was the baby's due date, 013119.
You know her passcode?
I don't know her passcode.
It used to be 2385, but now it's 6 digits.
It's the baby's due date.
1/31/8/19.
2:14 and 18 seconds p.m., Shanann's phone logs on the home router. 2:14 p.m., text messages from Nicole Atkinson were received by Shanann's phone. They included, "Just wanted to see if you were okay. I know you were hurting a lot last night. Hope you're okay, let me know how your appointment goes. I have been to your house, you won't open your door. Your alarm is set, your shoes are sitting inside, your car's home, I am so very concerned about you right now. I need you to text me or call me and just tell me okay. If you don't want to talk to nobody, you don't want to be around nobody, I get it, it's fine, but I need to know you're okay." 2:15 p.m., Nicole Atkinson is on her phone talking, and she also texts Shanann saying, "I have the cop at your house." I don't understand why she would do this when she knows Shanann's phone has been found. 2:17 and 10 seconds p.m., Nicole Atkinson passes Chris her phone to talk with Sandra, Shanann's mom.
Hey.
2:19 and 19 seconds p.m., Chris hands the phone back to Nicole. 2:19 and 26 seconds p.m., Chris is checking on his phone. 2:20 and 6 seconds p.m., Chris receives a message and sends out 2 messages. At 2:14 p.m., Nicole Atkinson is messaging someone on her phone. At the same time Chris is looking at his phone.
I'll pull up the video video at the 12:10? So he was it front door?
12:10, that was Nikki.
That was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ed was beeping at me out in the field.
(2:25 p.m.) Ring retrieval. Chris said it was on the nightstand next to Shanann's side of the bed.
It was on the nightstand next to his brother's bed.
2:25 p.m. Nicole Atkinson is checking her phone, didn't hear or see her send messages. (2:26 p.m.) Chris text Christina Meacham saying, "The police are here, call you when I know." 2:27 p.m. Chris text Troy McCoy saying, "Cops are here." 2:28 p.m. Robert from Humana and a said member of OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis, called Kessinger and held a 3-minute conversation. Her phone registers in Platteville. 2:30 and 54 seconds p.m. Chris receives a phone call. I believe he said it was her mom.
Hey. I'm still talking to the officer right now. Okay, bye. I will, definitely. Alright, bye. Sorry about that. That was a mom.
2:31 and 26 seconds p.m. Chris's personal phone logs on router. It seems his phone does not stay logged on the router sometimes when he is at home. 2:31 and 37 seconds p.m. Chris is making a phone call. 2:32 and 3 seconds p.m. Call answered. Chris says, "Hey Sarah, it's Chris Watts. Have you heard from Shanann today?" Sarah, he says, is from Aurora.
Hey sir, it's Chris Watts. Not too bad. Have you heard from Shanann today? No, I have not. You're my last person to call. So I'm just. Alright. I don't want to make you nervous or anything, but I'll keep you posted. No. Okay, thank you. Bye.
She lives around here?
She lives in Aurora.
2:35 p.m. Robert from Humana and a said member of OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis, called Kessinger again and held a 1-minute conversation. Her phone registers in Platteville. 2:35 and 6 seconds p.m. Chris Officer Coonrod leave the house to go to neighbor Nate's house.
Tell him I'll be there in just a minute.
2:35 and 18 seconds p.m. Detective Baumhover arrived at the scene at Officer Coonrod's request. 2:35 and 25 seconds p.m. Chris's Apple Watch logs on home router. 2:38 and 32 seconds p.m. Coonrod goes to neighbor Nate's to watch CCTV footage. Chris is already there with Nate, Nicole and Nicholas. Detective Baumhover doesn't go. On the bodycam you hear Nate saying that there is nothing on the video recording showing anything.
What's that?
2:39 and 29 seconds p.m. Chris sends a text. 2:39 and 32 seconds p.m. Troy McCoy arrived at 201 State Highway. After driving 25 miles. He stayed for 3 minutes, GPS, probably pulled up to message Chris. 2:39 and 48 seconds p.m. Chris's Apple Watch logs on the home router again. 2:41 and 16 seconds p.m. Neighbor Nate tells Chris his camera will pick up anything coming from the street this way, that way. Chris says even with that tree there, Nate replies, "Oh yeah."
Oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
You know where that tree there is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
2:42 and 15 seconds p.m. Troy McCoy text Chris saying, "I am sorry to hear that, man. If it gets crazy and you need a place to stay, you know you are more than welcome at my place." 2:42 and 40 seconds p.m. Troy's message comes in and you can hear it ding on Chris's phone.
Yeah, I thought.
Chris checks his phone to read the message that Troy sent. "2:42 and 59 seconds p.m., Chris texts Troy saying, "Thanks man. I truly appreciate it. Truly." "2:43 and 8 seconds p.m., Troy McCoy drove for 15 minutes and a distance of 10 miles. 2:44 p.m., Chris according to Discovery text Kessinger saying, "OMG, that is absolutely ridiculous. They would freak out." No record of this happening on bodycam, so when this message was actually sent I have no idea.
48.
So as soon as it picks up motion, it like back off. Okay. I thought you.
That was the start of the video.
Yep. That was 148.
In the morning.
I didn't pick her up going into the house though.
It didn't. And I usually pick him up when he comes walking through here. I pick him up. So it doesn't show her walking into the house.
2:46 and 28 seconds p.m., Chris checks his phone. "2:47 and 11 seconds p.m., Chris shakes Nate's hand and leaves.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
Hopefully something comes up here.
The officer stays behind to speak with Nate.
Mind if you just want to go talk to him? I'm going to get his info real quick.
2:53 and 45 seconds p.m. Nicole Atkinson tells Officer Coonrod that his detective is talking to Chris.
The detective's talking to you.
What's that?
Your detective's talking about you.
He's talking to him right now? Okay.
2:53 and 53 seconds p.m., Officer Coonrod leaves Nate's house. 2:54 and 4 seconds p.m., bodycam cuts. 2:57 p.m., Amanda Thayer, Shanann's friend, texts Shanann saying, "Hey lady, we just got back. Let's chat about this weekend." Amanda received a familiar auto reply from Shanann that she used whenever she was driving. Safety first. I'm driving with Do Not Disturb while driving turned on. I'll see your message when I get where I'm going. At this point Shanann's phone was in the house and not with Detective Baumhover as many thought. 2:58 and 47 seconds p.m., Troy McCoy arrived at 15001, County Road. He stayed for 24 minutes, GPS. 3 p.m., Frederick Police Department officers were asking Chris and Nicole questions about where Shanann was or who she could be with. 3 p.m. Under 0.4 miles. Around 750 steps recorded on Chris's personal phone. 3 p.m., around 650 steps recorded on Shanann's personal phone. Was Chris carrying her phone around with him? 3 p.m., Kerry Wood, the director of the Primrose School of Erie, told Agent Matthew Saylor about her conversation with Shanann's mom at around 3 p.m., and said that she asked if Shanann had ever dropped the girls off, and Wood told her no. Shanann's mother said that they were missing. 3 p.m., Kessinger said she left work at 3:00 p.m. according to her time card. She returned home to a good friend, Jim Gutowski. Jim was her house guest on Monday. She said Jim is a very close friend but they do not date each other. Jim has a key to her house so he can let himself in when she is late home. 3:00 and 51 seconds p.m., bodycam restarts. 3:02 and 46 seconds p.m., Nicole Atkinson is on her phone. She gives her phone to Officer Coonrod. It's Sandra Rusek, Shanann's mom.
Do you want to talk to the police officer? This is your mother.
3:05 and 11 seconds p.m., Nicole goes to her car and gets out what I believe is a sippy cup. (3:06 and 18 seconds p.m., Officer Coonrod tells Sandra, Shanann's mom, that they were not finding her purse.
We're not finding her purse.
3:06 and 36 seconds p.m., Chris is at his truck with the door open. Neighbor Nate and Nicole Atkinson are watching him.
Right.
(3:06 and 42 seconds p.m., Chris's Apple Watch logs on home router. 3:07 and 58 seconds p.m., Detective Baumhover is seen at the entrance to the garage. 3:09 and 47 seconds p.m., Chris is seen near the garage. Detective Baumhover is also in the garage.
Right. Right.
3:10 and 10 seconds p.m., bodycam cuts again. 3:15 and 48 seconds p.m., bodycam comes back on. 3:15 and 45 seconds p.m., Detective Baumhover asks Chris to show him Shanann's phone. (3:16 and 10 seconds p.m., there is no purse on the kitchen counter as Chris and Detective Baumhover pass by.
This is her.
3:16 and 40 seconds p.m., Detective Baumhover now has possession of Shanann's phone. 3:23 and 32 seconds p.m., Troy McCoy turned his truck on for 1 minute. 0 distance traveled. GPS. 3:23 p.m., Chad McNeil called Chris to ask how he was doing. Chad joked and asked something to the effect of, "Did you catch the robber?" Chris replied that his family was missing. Chad offered assistance if Chris needed anything. Not seen on bodycam. 3:24 and 31 seconds p.m., Officer Coonrod rubs his hand over Jack and Jill bathroom door to see if there's a key. No key there. Nicole Atkinson said she found Shanann's purse when they got back from the neighbor's house. She said she found it sitting inside the office door. She told the officer and Chris. She said the officer told her to get it. She went and got it. She said she didn't go through it and she gave it to Chris. 3:24 and 49 seconds p.m., Chris tells Detective Baumhover nothing in the bag. I had a look, and that her Chase and USA card are still in her wallet, so the bag must have been found prior to this and Detective Baumhover knew about it.
Nothing that I really knew. She has the Chase and USA card still in her wallet as long as well as her ID.
3:25 and 4 seconds p.m., Chris opens the Jack and Jill bathroom doors.
Yeah, they wake up, they'll just go right here and just play in the bathtub. Yeah.
Well, that's bright.
So you
isn't it?
normally, yeah, no. So you normally keep it locked? Yeah, because they would go in there, they'd be in soap. Like last time we had Vaseline everywhere. Yeah. So that was not fun.
3:25 and 6 seconds p.m., Troy McCoy still at 15001 County Road. Stayed for a further 31 minutes. GPS. 3:25 and 48 seconds p.m., Chris puts the Jack and Jill bathroom key on top of the door frame. 3:27 and 17 seconds p.m., Nicole Atkinson can be seen leaving the kitchen area. I believe Nicole had just put Shanann's purse on the kitchen counter. 3:27 and 27 seconds p.m., Nicholas Atkinson can be seen walking through the kitchen area. He has a sippy cup in his hand. In my opinion, I believe he went to the fridge to fill it up with ice-cold water. Three 27 and 33 seconds p.m., Nicole gives her phone to Officer Coonrod. Sandra, Shanann's mom, was on the phone. 3:27 and 52 seconds p.m., Nicholas Atkinson can be seen walking back through the kitchen area. 3:27 and 57 seconds p.m., Shanann's purse can now be seen on the kitchen counter. 3:32 p.m., Kessinger called Jim and held a 6-minute conversation. Her phone registered in Brighton. She is on her way home still. According to Kessinger's interview, Jim arrived at her home today. She said he was in her home when she got there as he has a key. She said Jim was over Monday and Tuesday. 3:33 and 20 seconds p.m., Chris checks his phone. (3:36 and 8 seconds p.m., Chris and Detective Baumhover exit the house. 3:37 and 55 seconds p.m., Chris and Detective Baumhover re-enter the house. 3:37 and 56 seconds p.m., Shanann's phone logs on home router. I believe it's because Detective Baumhover has it with him. He left the house and when he returns it logs back on the router. 3:42 and 20 seconds p.m., Officer Coonrod and Detective Baumhover leave the Watts house, so does Nicole Atkinson and Nicholas.
We're gonna go get in the car so we can go home.
You really want to?
3:45 p.m., Kessinger recalled getting home and Chris texted her something about his family being gone. She thought the text came in at about 3:45 p.m. This is the first text he sent Kessinger about his family being missing. Chris also asked Kessinger to call him. She said this text did not concern her at first, but when he asked her to call him she became concerned. Kessinger said Chris texted her around 3 times. 3:46 p.m., Nicole Atkinson leaves the Watts house and drives for 1 mile. 3-minute journey, 3:46 p.m. to 3:50 p.m., Life 360. 3:46 p.m., Addie Maloney texted Chris saying, "Chris, what is happening? I'm so worried." Chris called Addie and held a 6-minute conversation. 3:48 p.m., Addie Maloney texted the group saying, "The police need to look at Chris's cell and computer." 3:50 p.m., Nicole Atkinson arrives near 3778, State Highway 52. Fredericton stayed for 13 minutes. 3:50 p.m. to 4:03 p.m., Life 360. There is a gas station and a McDonald's in this area. 3:56 p.m., Daniel Barr, the now husband of Melissa Parrish, checked out from work, and Troy McCoy checked out right after and also said Chris Watts is out. "Everybody have a good evening." He said Chris was out because he hadn't checked out when he left.
Okay, that's what time I checked out. Headed out, Daniel Barr, and I checked out right there, right after Daniel Barr.
And what time was that?
So I'm guessing that was about around
A little
3:56
A
p.m.
little after 4, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe right at 4.
And Chris didn't send the message when he was leaving the field, so I put Chris is out as well.
Okay.
Everybody have a good evening.
3:56 and 37 seconds p.m., Troy McCoy drove for 36 minutes a distance of 26 miles, GPS. At 4 p.m., under 0.2 miles. Around 360 steps recorded on Chris's personal phone. At 4 p.m., around 150 steps on Shanann's personal phone. Her phone is with law enforcement at this time. At 4 p.m., Kelly Burke said on Monday, August 13, 2018, at about 6 p.m., Eastern Daylight Time, 4 p.m. Colorado time. She saw a Facebook posting from Shanann's brother Frankie about Shanann, Bella, and Celeste missing. Kelly said she called Shanann's mother and learned Shanann and the girls were reported missing and the police had Shanann's cell phone. Kelly also said Shanann's mother told her that Chris hadn't been himself while he was in North Carolina and Chris was standoffish during his visit to North Carolina during the first week of August. Kelly said Shanann's mother also commented about Chris backing his pickup into the driveway early in the morning on Monday, August 13, 2018. Kelly said this was unusual and concerning to Shanann's mother. Kelly said she started texting Shanann's husband after she spoke to Shanann's mother, and said she was texting Chris to find out what was going on. At 4 p.m., Kelly Burke texted Chris saying, "Oh my God, Chris, what's going on?" Chris said, "We can't find Shanann or the kids at all." Kelly replied, "I saw Frankie's post when I got out of work. Her car is gone." Chris said, "Nope, Eva is here. It's here." Kelly replied, "Oh my God. I wish I was closer to you, Chris. I'm freaking out and can't imagine what you are going through." At 4 p.m., Frederick police checked neighbors' security camera and questioned neighbors. At 4 p.m., Nicole Kessinger said she stepped outside on her back patio and called Chris at about 4 p.m. They had a short conversation with him saying the police were at his house. Chris was texting saying the police were there and Shanann's friend Nikki was there. And she had called the police. Chris said Nikki was upset and the cops were searching his house. Kessinger recalled Chris saying he and Shanann had a disagreement and he told Kessinger Shanann was going to a friend's house. Kessinger remembered thinking maybe Shanann just left. Chris then told her that Shanann's cell phone and purse were still at his house. Kessinger thought maybe Shanann was in a rush and left the stuff behind, but, knowing Shanann was always on her phone, Kessinger found it strange. The police left the Watts house at 3:42 p.m., so for him to tell Kessinger the police were there, the call must have either been earlier than 4 p.m., however we see no evidence of him talking with Kessinger on the body cam. Or the call was after 4:19 p.m. when the second set of officers come to search the house. At 4:03 p.m., Nicole Atkinson leaves the area near 3778 State Highway 52, and drives for 10 minutes, heading to Firestone. 30 miles per hour speed, Life 360. At 4:07 p.m., Nick Thayer texts Chris saying, "Hey man. We just got back into town. When can you run?" Chris said, "Not sure, man. I can't find Shanann or the kids. Haven't heard from them all day. Cops are here. I will keep you posted." Nick replied, "Whoa, what? That is crazy, man. Is there anything I can do?" Chris said, "I don't know, man. It's very odd right now." Nick replied, "We can head up there. Bring you some food. We are here for you." At 4:09 p.m., Cassie Rosenberg called Amanda Thayer. They talked about Shanann being missing and shared thoughts. At 4:14 p.m., Nicole Atkinson arrives home. Immediately, without any kind of stop at home, she drives back to the Watts house. A 10-minute journey. Life 360, in interview it was said she returned to give neighbor Nate Frank and Sandra's, Shanann's parents, phone number. At 4:17 p.m., Nicole Atkinson called Amanda Thayer to discuss Shanann missing. At 4:19 p.m., on the 13th of August, 2018 at approximately 4:19 p.m., Officer M. James arrived on scene at Saratoga Trail at the request of Officer Coonrod. Upon arrival he briefed me of information that Shanann Watts and her two daughters, Bella and Celeste, were missing from the residence. Officer James speaks to Chris, who was stood by his work truck when they got there. He tells Chris he is waiting for his sergeant to get there. He will have Chris to sign a consent form to search his house. Chris agrees.
So, if you're good with that, we'll have you sign a consent form allowing us to search your house, and we'll wait for our sergeant to get here. But we'll grab that. You don't plan on going anywhere, right?
No, I was just going to walk around the neighborhood just to honestly clear my head.
At 4:22 p.m., Kelly Burke texted Chris saying, "What did the police say?" Chris said, "They will file missing persons report in the AM if we don't hear from her." Kelly replied. Was there any sign of the house being broken into? Chris said. Not at all. At 4:25 p.m., Nicole Atkinson arrives back at Watts House area and stays for 8 minutes. Near 2801, Saratoga Trail, Frederick. Life 360. She doesn't go into the Watts house and doesn't speak to the officers that are attending. At 4:25 and 56 seconds p.m., Chris's Apple Watch logs on router. At 4:26 p.m., Kelly Burke continued texting Chris saying, "Was she awake when you left for work this morning?" Chris said, "I talked to her early this morning between 4 to 5 a.m. I think she went back to sleep afterwards. She was still here when I left. Kids still sleeping." Kelly replied, "The girls were supposed to have school today. I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions. I'm just scared." Chris said, "It's okay. I'm scared too." Kelly replied, "I can't even imagine. I wish I was closer. Is anyone there with you? I know this is probably a dumb question, but did you call all of the area hospitals?" At 4:28 and 20 seconds p.m. Chris's Apple Watch logs on router again. At 4:30 and 12 seconds p.m., Shanann's iPad logs on router. At around 4:30 p.m., Ronnie Watts, Chris's dad, said Chris rang him and said, "Dad, something's going on. I don't know what's going on. Shanann and the girls are missing, or gone." He said she left her phone, her purse, her car. He said he had no clue what in the hell, she ran off with the kids or what in the hell is going on. He also told Ronnie about the situation, about what happened about that other girl. He told Ronnie what happened that morning, that they were having a discussion, she already knew this was coming, that he wanted to get a separation and put the house up for sale. And he just said the marriage just wasn't working. Ronnie already knew Chris and Shanann were having marital problems. He told his parents when he visited North Carolina and visited them at home. At 4:33 p.m., Nicole Atkinson leaves the Watts House area and drives to near 5980-8125, Frontage Road, Dacono, Life 360. At 4:33 and 32 seconds p.m., Troy McCoy drove for 26 miles and arrived at home. His truck stayed here for 13 hours 33 minutes, GPS. At 4:37 p.m., Chris is on his phone, stood near his work truck, messaging with Kelly Burke as the officers return to begin the search of his house. At 4:38 p.m., officers enter the house to begin search. At 4:40 p.m., Chris states he got phone alerts of someone at his door at 12:10 p.m. and 12:02 p.m. He said 2 minutes after noon.
Did you have any alerts today with that?
Just when her friends were here.
Does it only record when the doorbell rings or anytime
If
someone?
you're like right here, it should just start, the proximity should hit up.
Anything on that?
Just her friends.
And what time was that?
12:10 and about 10 minutes after noon.
Chris texts Kelly saying, "The cops right now. They are searching the house. I will call the hospitals." Kelly replied, "Was that you just on her Facebook?" Chris said, "The cops have her phone." Kelly replied, "What are the police saying?" Chris said, "Not sure. They just searched the place up and down." Kelly replied, "How did you know something was wrong?" Chris said, "She didn't answer my calls or texts today or anyone else's." At 4:41 and 2 seconds p.m., Chris's Apple Watch logs on router yet again. At 4:42 p.m., Nicole Atkinson arrives at near 5980-8125, Frontage Road, Dacono, and is there for 10 minutes. Life 360. Nothing appears to be in this area. At 4:48 p.m., Getman called Kessinger and held a 4-minute conversation. Her phone registered in Thornton. At 4:53 p.m., Nicole Atkinson leaves the area near 5988 E125, Frontage Road, Dacono, Colorado and proceeds to drive home. 3-mile trip took 2 minutes. Life 360. At 4:55 p.m., Nicole Atkinson arrives home and stays there for 2 hours 58 minutes. Life 360. 5 p.m., over 0.6 miles. Around 1450 steps recorded on Chris's personal phone. 5:01 p.m., Kessinger left Chris a voicemail. Heard on bodycam. Her phone registered in Thornton.
Female friend or a male friend?
Honestly, I'm not gonna put anything by it right now.
Alright.
5:02 p.m., Kessinger called Chris. His phone didn't ring. Chris answers and says, "Hey, hold on 1 second, let me call you back. Bye-bye." Her phone registered in Thornton.
Not in there.
No. Hey, hold on 1 second. Call you back. Bye-bye.
5:04 p.m., Chris received a call, unanswered.
Not sure what she would have used that way.
Sorry, my phone's just blowing up there. No, you're fine.
5:05 p.m., Chris called Chase Bank and held a nearly 2-minute conversation. He called a separate number for Chase moments later and held a 2.5-minute conversation. 5:11 and 47 seconds p.m., Chris is on his phone listening to bank transactions from USAA Bank.
Most recent one on the Chase is a taxi cab and limousine company for $15.42.
When?
August 12th. August 13th, $27 at Target.
5:15 and 11 seconds p.m., Chris gets Dita a drink. 5:26 p.m., Taylor, Shanann's friend, texts Shanann saying, "Are you and the girls okay?" 5:28 p.m., officers leave the Watts house. 5:30 p.m., Discovery shows Chris made an unanswered call to Kessinger. This call does not show on Kessinger's phone records. 5:47 p.m., Chris texts Ann Meadows saying, "Thank you so much, Ann." Ann replied, "Did you drive by the 6508? Chris lied saying, "Just did." "Yep, that's the exact model." Ann replied, "All right, I'm waiting to hear back from the agent, then we can set a time to meet. Thanks for checking on that." Chris said, "You're welcome." Ann replied, "Is Shanann okay? She hasn't weighed in all day." And saw on Facebook that Shanann was missing, and realized that Shanann had not weighed in all day when she was texting Chris. And reached out to Chris and stated that she realized Shanann was missing and asked if he was okay. He assured Ann that he had reported to police and she could send prayers. Chris said, "She hasn't been around all day. It's very odd." Ann replied, "That's really weird. You must be worried. Have you checked with her friends or called and reported her missing?" Chris said, "I've done it all. Police are handling it now. Send prayers, please." Ann replied, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Lots of prayers." 6 p.m., following suggestions by many, Chris searched Google for hospitals near his home. In less than 4 minutes, Chris called Good Samaritan Medical Center, Lafayette, St. Anthony North Health Campus, Longmorn United Hospital and UC Health, Broomfield. The average duration of these calls was 40 seconds, the longest was 6 to 9 seconds. Out of curiosity, an officer called St. Anthony's without identifying themselves, and asked if a Rollo Tomossi was a patient. It took 2 minutes to get an answer. The officer suspects Chris merely called each hospital to create a trail of concocted concern and never actually spoke with anyone. 6 p.m., over 0.2 miles. Around 500 steps recorded on Chris's personal phone. 6 p.m., Amanda and Nick Thayer arrived at Chris's house between 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Nick said when Chris opened the door, it wasn't Chris. Nick said Chris appeared different, overwhelmed, like what is going on. At this point the police were gone. Nick, Amanda, and Chris stood inside by the front door. Nick and Amanda were asking Chris questions about what happened, but Nick could not remember exactly what they asked. Chris told Nick and Amanda he and Shanann were having marital issues. Amanda told Chris Shanann had told her about them. That morning when Chris woke up for work he said he told Shanann that he wanted to separate. He said he told her before he went to work because he wanted to tell her in person rather than by text or phone call. He said he then left for work. Nick said Chris did not comment on how Shanann was doing when he left. 6 p.m., Lauren Arnold said she drove over to Shanann's house at about 5 p.m. to see if she could find out more information about Shanann and the girls missing. She said she went to the house and knocked on the front door and Chris answered it. Lauren said Chris gave her a hug and invited her inside. She said she saw Amanda and Nick Thayer inside the house as well. Lauren said she asked Chris if he was okay and Chris replied, no. Lauren said as she walked into the house she started looking around to see if she could see anything that might indicate where Shanann and the girls may have gone. The time Lauren gave is wrong, because the police are still at the Watts house at 5 p.m. and Lauren does not come while they are still there. She said Nick and Amanda Thayer were there and they arrived at between 6 and 6:30 p.m., hence why I put her down as arriving around 6 p.m.ish just after Nick and Amanda Thayer. Chris in interview said a girl called Melissa came by to show support that evening.
I went late in bed, but I didn't sleep. I was just sitting there. It was like, I had friends that came over. Nick and Amanda came over for a little while, and they showed support. My friends Dave and Jeremy came over. They showed support. Shanann's friend Lauren came over. She showed support. Another friend, Melissa, came by that I didn't know that she showed support. Everybody's just like, I don't know like why this happened or how this happened, but like, I hope that she's okay, type thing.
In interview Chris also said he knew Nicole Atkinson was parked outside when the officers came to search the house.
Who's helping you make these calls?
That's just me.
Just
At
you?
this point, that's
Were you by yourself?
I was by myself. I'm sure Nicole and other people were doing that while they were gone.
Okay.
Because they were gone at this
Where
point.
did Nicole go?
Back to her house.
Back to her house.
She was there when they came back to search the house.
Nicole was?
She was parked outside.
When is this?
5
5 o'clock?
p.m. Yeah, she was parked outside.
6:22 p.m., Kelly Burke texted Chris saying, "Any news?" Chris said, "Nothing at all." Kelly replied, "No luck at hospitals obviously." 6:23 p.m., Chris said, "No luck at all." Kelly replied, "Cameras?" Frankie said something about a neighbor's camera facing your house. Chris said, "Yeah, nothing on cameras." Kelly replied, "Was the house locked?" Chris said, "The garage wasn't." Kelly replied, "And the cops found nothing?" Chris said, "Nothing at all." Kelly replied, "Is the garage normally locked?" Chris said, "Mostly unless someone leaves." 6:30 p.m., Lauren Arnold said she left the house at about 5:30 p.m. Her times are wrong and I think she left around 6:30 p.m. 6:48 p.m., Addie Maloney texted Chris saying, "Any news? I am beside myself." Chris said, "Cops searched my house up and down. They are doing everything they can." Addie replied, "Oh my God. What could be happening?" Chris said, "I have no clue." Addie replied, "It just doesn't make sense. Have you checked with that row of houses behind yours to see if anyone has seen her?" Chris said, "No sense at all. Most of them are not sold yet. They are empty." Addie replied, "So she wouldn't have gone out that way. When did she tell you she was going to a friend's?" Chris said, "When we talked this morning. It was between 4 to 5 a.m. When I left she was still here though." Addie replied, I'm sorry for so many questions. I'm sure you are being bombarded with questions. I'm just so worried. She wouldn't leave with the kids without their medicine and car seats. Do you guys have an alarm? Chris said. It's okay. Yeah, we checked my camera and the neighbor's camera. 6:52 p.m., Chris texts Samantha Paisley saying, I'm praying so hard. I'm sick to my stomach. Cops searched the house up and down and drilled me pretty hard. I have no idea where they could be. Sam asked why the police were drilling him. 7 p.m., Chris received a calendar notice titled, Dinner with Shanann. Shanann had a similar entry, Dinner with Chris, but scheduled for an hour later. 7 p.m., around 40 steps recorded on Chris's work phone. 7 p.m., under 0.2 miles. Around 380 steps recorded on Chris's personal phone. 7:35 and 18 seconds p.m., Chris's personal phone logs on home router. 7:54 p.m., Nicole Atkinson drives for 1 mile, takes 5 minutes, 27 miles per hour speed. Life 360. 7:59 p.m., Troy McCoy text Chris saying, Hey man, any news? Not trying to bother you, I know you are going through a lot. I am praying for you, man. Chris said. No news, man. Police searched the entire house. Part 15, coming soon.